Hello, welcome back to Rails Quest. Have you ever wanted to integrate a credits-based system into your application so that you can charge for credits and the users can spend those credits on things in your app? Well, today that's what we're going to talk about. I actually had a video showing you how to integrate basic payments with processors like Stripe or Lemon Squeezy into your app, and that was based on the Pay gem. The gem I'm going to show you today is called Usage Credits, and it implements a credits-based system into your app so that you hardly have to write any extra code to integrate credits into your application. The Usage Credits gem integrates with the Pay gem, so this is a great follow-up to that video. It doesn't get rid of the need for the Pay gem. Let's take a quick look at the README, and then I'll show you the code and the changes that I made to delete quite a bit of code I was using in my application. I was able to delete code using the Pay gem that this gem now implements for me, and it adds way more features than I had built into my application. Let's take a look. Like I already mentioned, it does require the Pay gem, so you will need to install that and set it up separately. It does require an active job backend, which, good news for those of you on Rails 8. Rails 8 comes with SolidQ by default. This should not be a deterrent for anyone in 2025. I'm going to gloss over this very quickly because this all has examples in the application that I will show you, but it's a very simple API, very natural language oriented. Here's the quick start guide. Let's take a quick look at what you do. Add the gem to your gem file, and then you generate the usage credits installation process. So it's going to scaffold initializers, migrations, things like that into your application. And then you just run Rails DB migrate. A quick note about that: whenever you see a gem ask you to run Rails DB migrate, that should raise a little flag in your head and cause you to pause and think about what you're doing, because you are depending on the schema that they have defined in their gem. So that means potentially they can choose to change the schema, and then you will have to do a little bit of extra maintenance on your end whenever you update the gem to that version that has the new schema. So that's just something to keep in mind. It means that it's a little more deeply integrated into your application, and so it's just a matter of trusting the maintainer to give you enough heads up and to not go changing it willy-nilly all the time on you. That is just something to keep in mind. Since that's a red flag that raises in my mind when I see this, I wanted to bring it up to you. In this case, I'm more than happy to pay that price because this takes all the monotony of building an audited credit system into my application away from me. That's not unique to my application. I care about other features. I am very happy to pay that price and move on. You will need to add some sort of a recurring job, because for things like subscriptions, it relies on running this job on a recurrent basis. So the way usage credit works, it says it's dead simple, and I agree, it's very simple. You can either purchase credit packs, like one-time payment, 1,000 credits for 50 bucks. You can have a subscription that's 10,000 credits a month. You can add bonuses programmatically. You can give them credits however you want in your application. And so that's at your discretion. And you can add annotations when you do that, so that it shows up in your audit log in a way that makes it easy to identify what happened. Users can spend credits on operations that you define. You give a well-named operation, and then you can define what that costs, and you manage it all in one place. So you're sending an email costs 1 credit, and we'll take a closer look at that in the application that I'm going to show you. This is for variable costs, credits per megabyte, things like that. It comes with a lot of helpers, a lot of nice things in its DSL to help you manage those credits. It even has low balance alerts, so that's handy. It mentions this demo Rails app, live interactive demo website. So you can play around with it and see how it works. In this dummy website, it implements a dummy wallet for you, so you're not actually spending money, and you can play around with it and see how spending credits works and how it shows up in this ledger. See at the bottom, there's the charge that I just made, and it has payment records inside the Pay gem. That's what comes from the Pay gem itself, the charge and the subscription there. And then usage credits comes with these models: fulfillment, transaction, allocation, and audit trail, and it shows you what the credit packs are. It's a really neat way to see how the app is working under the hood and play around with it before you ever even install it. If you need more convincing or just want to play around with it, I encourage you to do so. And finally, make sure you at least scan the technical notes on the architecture. Do your due diligence and make sure it's a data model that makes sense to you. It talks about row level locks. Make sure that works well with the way you're designing your transactions. The gem does pollute the kernel. It adds some DSL methods, so that's something to be aware of. And it gives you a list of edge cases to look out for. The maintainer says it's a new gem, maybe missing some edge cases. This is a good set of things to keep an eye on as you are building your application and building out your credit system. That's enough looking at the README. Let's take a look at the code. In the gem file, the main change was just this, add the usage credits. So let's take a look at the code in a real Rails app. So you see here, you can add the gem, and then I ran the install commands, and then I could start adding it into my application. This is the one commit that adds the usage credits gem to my application. If you recall in the previous video about payments, we were using the pay gem. Now the pay gem, it's very nice, but it doesn't implement as much as the usage credits gives you. So I first built a very naive usage credits system without this gem, just using a single field on my user record to store the credit balance. It's not ideal. It doesn't have an audit log, and it's pretty fragile. And if the user gets in a state that's weird, you have no way of knowing how they got into that state. But what it did allow me to do was start building out the UI and user experience on top of how is buying credits going to work in the system and things of that nature. So this is the refactoring from the system that I built, the simplistic one, to the usage credits. And I think you're going to be pleased with what you see. It's less code and way more features. So I added the gem, probably ran bundle add usage credits. And then this is where I get to delete a bunch of code, because instead of creating this checkout session manually myself with all the setup and metadata, all I do is call out to find credit pack and then create the checkout session from the credit pack. So it's very much simplified. Then I can ask, instead of doing this kind of naive implementation here that really communicates, instead of abstracting this to where if I wanted to change the price per tweet in credits, if I wanted each tweet to be ×2, for instance, I would have to add that here. Whereas in this model, I can just ask, does it have enough credits to do the thing that I want to do, which is generate short content? And the units is the number of tweets, the tweet count. That was handy. And this is how you spend credits. You're going to spend credits on generating short content, and the units is going to be the number of credits. I got to delete this little webhook model. I was using this in the payments gem to fulfill the order when it came back through the webhooks. But now the usage credits gem handles all this for me. So it handles fulfilling and adding credits to the user once you have actually paid. This is all you need to do to add to the user. And I was able to delete my homemade add credits and use credits methods in favor of using the ones from the usage credits gem. Instead of having hard-coded stuff in the view, I could ask the credit pack how many credits it has and how much it costs. So that's a nice bonus. I can configure the credit packs separately, and it will automatically update in the UI without me having to remember to go back and change that. Here's where, for some reason, instead of deleting this file or deleting these, I commented them out, but same difference, probably should have deleted them. If you do want to add some custom logic into the webhooks using the pay gem, this is how you do it. But you probably won't need to if the only reason you need to do that is for usage credits. And we'll take a look at this file. Here is the migration to add the usage credits tables. It was scaffolded into the application. We'll just skim over that. And that's the end of the diff. So that's the whole commit to switch over to usage credits from what I was doing before. So now let's take a look at this initializer. I have a credit pack here, and that's what's listed on the page. This is my current balance, and then the credit pack is listed out right here. 100 credits for $25. That's my current balance, and then here's where I format the credits. You can see get more credits, and then there's a nice format credits helper and format credit price helper. And I use those to say 100 credits for $25 USD. Super handy. This is the price in cents. You can format it however you want. You don't have to use their helpers, but that is how it works if you're gonna just buy into their stuff and not worry about it. And then I'm linking to the checkout session URL just like I was before with the payment gem. So this view right here, there's a little bit more to it because there is the little declaration in the user where you say has credits, but that's pretty much all the custom code in the user. So this is the whole stack for buying credits. You don't need to worry about how it happens, the backend jobs or the webhooks. This is all the code. That's pretty slick. To bring it full circle, when you come back to here, complete with credits, you spend credits on generate short content in this case, and you pass in the number of credits that you want to spend when it's a variable credits thing. So here's the operation. You can see generate short content both places. This defines the operation and how much it costs. I could add validations and things here, and you can look at the validations in the README documentation on the repo. This is how you do variable cost. So 1 credit per unit. Units is the number of credits that we're intending to spend. So my system hasn't completely transitioned to the idea of configuration over specifying the credits in line with where you're actually doing the operation. I could create a new unit, short content or something like that, and then I would completely decouple how much it costs from the concept of credits. This is where we're at so far in the refactoring process. It's not perfect, but I'm showing you where I'm at right now because this gem has sold me. I think it's working really well so far for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it grows in use in the application. So with that little bit of code, I've got an audit log. I have the peace of mind knowing that if a customer complains, I can go back and look at their transaction history and piece together the story of what happened and explain it to them, and then go from there. That's good customer service. So I'm happy with that. So that is the usage credits gem. If you check it out, let me know how it goes. I really like it. Let me know if you love it, you hate it. Send issues to the maintainer here. This is the maintainer of the gem, Ramirez. He's got a bunch of other gems. I haven't looked at most of them, but you might end up seeing some of these on the channel because they all look really useful. All good. A health check page for the Rails app. That sounds great. An MRR dashboard for pay-powered Rails app. I'd like to see that. Again, blocking disposable emails and signups. Yeah, that sign me up for that, right? It looks like there's quite a few well-designed and thoughtful gems here to look at. So go check them out. Give this repo a star and support your open source projects that you enjoy using. With that, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the other video on this channel and have a blessed week. I'll see you next time.